This is a tutorial video of how we do a deep clean on a Mill Creek apartment. This is an upstairs apartment, so the only difference here is that there's stairs to take care of. This apartment has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, a master bath, another bath, a kitchen, a laundry room, and a few closets. There's blinds, there's windows up here. Alright, that didn't happen. It's practice. So we can edit this. Okay, so we're estimating it will take about 1 hour and 45 minutes to clean this entire apartment. This apartment consists of a kitchen, a living room area, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, and a laundry room. So 4 people should probably be able to get this done in around 1 hour and 45 minutes. We're thankful that we have 4 trained professionals with us, along with me and Megan. So first we'll talk to Kaylin. Kaylin, talk us through how you would clean the kitchen, beginning to end, top to bottom.
The first thing you would do in the kitchen would be to high dust the light fixtures, the tops of the cabinets, and the door frames of the pantry, and then just any cobwebs or anything that you see in the top corners of the walls. The second thing you would do would be to spray oven cleaner into the oven so it can sit while you're doing the rest of the kitchen.
What's the importance of spraying oven cleaner early on in the process?
The longer the oven cleaner sits, the better it can get up all the grime, so you'd have to work less at scraping it up. After you spray the oven cleaner, you clean out the inside of the refrigerator. So you pull out all the drawers and clean them in the sink using an SOS pad. And then you would clean out the walls of the inside of the refrigerator with multi-purpose cleaner. And you would do the same thing in the freezer.
What if there's ice up there?
I'd dump it and shut the ice maker off. Then I clean the outside of the refrigerator. So you'd clean the top, and it's usually really greasy up there, so you need a greaser. And then the front and both sides. And you can pull, then you'd pull the refrigerator out and clean the sides where you can't reach where the cabinet is right now. So like this you couldn't reach right now, so you'd have to pull it out. And then I'd let it sit out in the middle of the kitchen while I clean out the insides of the cabinets. So I'd get up on a stool and use multi-purpose to clean out the insides of the cabinets to get the crumbs out. And then multi-purpose to clean the outsides if there's grime on them, and then after I'd shine them with Pledge.
What if it's really cruddy in there with lots of dust and debris? Do you spray it first?
A lot of debris, I would vacuum it out first before spraying it. So once I do all the cabinets, I would do the microwave, once I do all the top cabinets, I do the microwave. I do the outside of it first, and often the top grate part is greasy, so you need to use degreaser and make sure you get up top. And then you clean the inside. So you take the glass plate out and clean it in the sink with the SOS pad, and then clean the rest of the inside of the microwave with multi-purpose cleaner. The next thing I'd do would be to move on to the oven. By this point, the oven cleaner should have been sitting in there long enough. So you take a green scouring pad and scour. You just scour where all the oven cleaner is to get up all the grime. And if there's anything left over, you can use a pumice stone to get all the little black specks. And then finally, I would spray multi-purpose in there to wipe out all the oven cleaner and the grime that's in there. Once the inside of the oven is done,
How about the grates?
Oh, sorry, the grates pull out and you clean them in the sink with the SOS pad. And then if there's extra stuff on there that you can't get off of the SOS pad, you'd use a pumice stone.
Great.
Next, you take off the rings and the dishes or dish pans and clean around the top of the oven, and sometimes you have to scour where there's some grime that gets. Then you lift the oven up and vacuum what's under there and then wipe it out. And sometimes you need to scour and put it back. You always leave the pins out. You don't put them back on because sometimes they usually replace them. You have to clean the top of the oven. So I'd pull the buttons off because there's often dirt underneath them, and I clean them really well and then put them back on. And then the final thing you have to do for the oven is to pull out the bottom drawer and vacuum it out, vacuum behind it, and then wipe it out. You'd wipe down the countertops, and often, because they're like speckled colored, you can't see if there's dirt, so you should run your hand over it to make sure that you're not leaving anything behind. And then after that's done, you're going to do the bottom drawers. So wipe them out or vacuum them out first if you need. Wipe it out, and then clean the fronts of them. Once all that's done, I would to finish the sink. So I would use a scouring pad and the that powder cleaner. What's it called?
Barkeeper's Friend.
Barkeeper's Friend.
Or cream cleanser.
Or cream cleanser, and you put it in there and use a green scouring pad to scour out any of the hard water stains that are in there. Once it's clean, then you can use the liquid gold to make it nice and shiny. And then you'd clean these cabinets just like you did on the other side and clean the outside of the dishwasher. And you can open it up and just clean the lip of it too on the inside.
I see the dishwasher's pretty clean, but there's some kind of dirt on the lip there. Is that pretty common?
Yeah, there's usually dirt there. So you always have to open it and check to get that. Once you got everything inside the kitchen, you would get in the pantry. So dust down the shelving, wipe down the door, the pantry door, and then the baseboards in there. And then I sweep from the pantry out, sweep out behind the refrigerator. And then after I've swept everything out, I go back and look over the floor for any stains that I don't think I'll be able to mop up, and I'll use Goof Off to get them up. Once I do that, I would vacuum the floor and then finally mop out.
Great. So, is this part of the kitchen area that you're responsible for too?
Yeah, usually the kitchen person does this area too. So you would first tie dust in here, and then you have to wipe this. Usually you have to wipe it by hand because there's a lot of dust that'll get in that, but that's something that's easily forgotten. You would use the fuzzy gloves to get the blinds. First you go over the blinds with the fuzzy gloves, and then you'd have to look them over and see if there's any stains on them, and use multi-purpose and a rag to get the stains up off the blinds. Once you clean the blinds thoroughly, I clean the windowsills, the top and the bottom windowsills, and then finally I clean the glass in the window. And then after you do that, you would clean the baseboards and vacuum out of here as well, and get any stains off the floor.
And after you vacuum, what do you do?
Mop.
Very good. Team, what do you think about that kitchen explanation? Thank you. Next, we're going to go into the laundry room. Jalea, can you take us through how exactly you clean the laundry room?
First, open the doors. You high dust, get all the dust up there and in there and around the stuff up there, and then this up here. And then you would pull these out, but be careful with the dryer because this metal thing back here gets detached very easily, but it's really hard to put back on. So you don't want to pull it out too far, but you want to make sure that you can get behind it. And then you would sweep out all this dust and try to get all the dust off the baseboards first, and then sweep out all of this, and then see if you can pull this out some more, and then get behind, like physically get behind the dryer and get all the sticky stuff off and wipe around the baseboards and get the dust out behind the silver thing.
What do you use to get the sticky stuff off the ground?
Goof Off.
Okay.
And then for the baseboards, the first go around you just sweep the dust off, and then after that you use multi-purpose so the dust doesn't stick onto the baseboards after you spray the multi-purpose.
Makes sense.
And then this cord gets dusty too, so I dust it off.
Okay.
And then you try to push this back as far over to the wall as possible. And then you pull wash your machine out. Also try not to pull anything out of the wall. And do the same thing behind the washer. Sweep it out and to get all the dust off, and then spray. This probably needs goof off because it looks sticky. And then wipe the goof off and do the baseboards. And then while the washer machine is out, wipe the top of it so the dust doesn't get back on the baseboards behind it. Same thing with the dryer. You want to wipe that off when it's pulled forward. And then make sure you get the sides of the washer and dryer. And then you want to do the inside of it, like the inside. Get all in here and in here. All of this in between the drumstick of the washer. And then you push it back. And then you want to wipe the inside of the dryer and everything too. And then the last thing I do with both of them is wipe the outsides, the top and the front. Is the last thing I do. And you want to make sure you empty out the lint tray.
In addition to goof off, is there any other product that works good on the baseboards?
Degreaser.
Okay. And how about the flooring?
Floors, you want to vacuum. Well, sweep and vacuum. You sweep for the baseboards to get the dust off of them, and then after you do that, if it's like how it was behind there with the sticky stuff on there, this is coming off. But if you have any other sticky stuff, you spray goof off on there and wipe it off, and then vacuum it up and mop. And then you want to do the you actually want to do the doors before you mop. Just the backs of them. And after you do that, you can mop. And then close the doors and do the outsides.
And how long do you think that process usually takes?
30 minutes.
Okay.
Tops.
Team, what do you think about that laundry presentation? Thank you, Julia.